Hello, hello. Happy December 1st, Heather.
I know. Can you believe it's December? I can't. I can't. It was gone way too fast this year.
This year has really flown by for me too. I know it has for a lot of people, and then there are other people that this year has felt like 10 years, right? But wow, what a year it's been. I can't believe we're getting ready to step into 2026.
I have high hopes for 2026.
We all should. Actually, let's talk about that for a minute. And then I have an angel message that I want to share with everyone. So, 2026 is a one universal year. And so, what we're really talking about is new energy that is coming in. 2025 was a year of showing us clarity of what we literally needed to let go of. So, think of it as though the universe was like, you cannot take this with you. Leave this behind. The new you doesn't want this in their life, right? That doesn't mean it felt good, because a lot of times those are people or friendships or things that we are connected to. But with that, it's because the universe is making space for abundance in our life with people, places, and situations. And this year, we're really asking, be bold, be brave, step into who you want to be. The universe isn't playing anymore. There's no more time to wait, is what I'm going to say. So I'll be happy when, I will be productive when, I will choose what I want from my life when. The universe is like, no, that's not going to work in 2026. It's now, now, now. What's really important for people to know is the seeds that you're planting in your life in 2026 are the ones you're going to reap, grow, and sow for the next 9 years. So think about who you want to be, how you want to be, the kind of feelings you want in your life, and the people, that you want in. It's a big year.
I'm excited. I'm ready. Bring it.
Time to build again, right? A new building. So what I want to start with right now is an angel message, because I got messages from so many people and talked to so many friends that had a really challenging Thanksgiving, right? A lot of people, this is that time of year. Holidays are beautiful for some and very magical. And for other people, it's very challenging with family and family situations. And then for other people, it's like the hardest time of the year because they are in grief. So what I'm really addressing with this from the angels is family, friends, situations, right? And what they were really saying to me is that no matter who we are in life, whether we have had mental, emotional, physical, financial trauma done to us by another person or something that was taken away from us, there's only one person responsible for your healing, and it's you. So we can go into Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays saying, but this is my brother who always, and this is my whatever, right? My dad or my mom or my best friend. But the energy is, at the end of the day, there's one person who's responsible for your healing. It's you. It doesn't matter what has happened to you, how traumatic it has been. It is you. And so the angels are telling us that because they want to empower us to facilitate our own healing and to not be pointing the fingers. If we are waiting for an apology from someone that might never come, again, you're putting your life on hold. You're putting your healing on hold for what, right? So the energy this year, empower yourself, be bold. Angels are going along with that. The other thing that they said that I thought was beautiful is that we get to assign the people, places, and situations the weight in our life that we want them to carry. So everybody has to envision their backpack, and maybe somebody said something hurtful to you on Thanksgiving. You can either make that a brick in your backpack or a breadcrumb. You get a choice, or maybe you don't even put it in your backpack at all. But the message was just so strong about you can heal if you allow yourself, and you're the only one responsible for it. And how much weight do you want to assign people that are not productive in your life?
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, I've been thinking about this morning actually, and how a lot of the things that I've been dealing with lately have been like unmet expectations. And I was really thinking a lot about that. Like when we have an expectation, especially like around the holidays or with family or with friends, and we feel like it should be a certain way or you want it to happen a certain way, and then it doesn't go as you expected, and dealing with the hurt, the pain, or any emotion that comes with that, and trying to like work through that and process through that, and that what you were talking about.
Yeah,
So
the other thing that I would say is I've noticed from a few people that I talked to this weekend, you have to allow yourself the possibility and the room to grieve the relationship that you don't have. So sometimes we go to Thanksgiving and we think this is going to be the year. This is the year my person is finally going to understand me or whatever our story is. And guess what? They haven't changed. They haven't done the work. They still don't understand you. At that point, it's really not personal. I'm not saying it feels good, but quit going expecting people to be different than who they have been, right? So the biggest predictor of future behavior is past behavior. People show us who they are. Actions are a language. And we need to honor that their actions show us that. And it's okay. It's not necessarily personal that they haven't done their own healing work and don't know how to show up from a place of love.
yeah, lots of different dynamics in the family, right?
Yeah, for everyone, and so I just, I hope that a lot of people out there had amazing, magical Thanksgivings and are looking really forward to the holidays. But this message is about empowering yourself. You get to create the reality that you want. You do. It's that simple. And that also means you get to assign the weight to the things that are happening around you.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, we already have some questions in our chat today, so we'll get going with those. And thank you, everyone, for listening and sending in your questions and joining us live. We really appreciate it. So our first question is, do ETs have spirit guides and guardian angels?
I love that question. And the answer is yes, because ETs are souls, right? But they have chosen to have an experience on a different planet or a different dimension. And even within that planetary experience that they're having, they're going to have guides and angels who are there to help them still learn and accomplish the life lessons and the missions that they want.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question, going out of town this week to see my mother-in-law. Does my father-in-law, who is in spirit, have any signs that we should be paying attention to or have a message? My 2-year-old, I am so sure she sees him.
I would agree with that. So, kids and animals, they see spirit. They don't know they can't, right? Nobody's told them that's their imaginary friend or it's not real. And so they're really open to seeing, feeling, and knowing. And so the answer is absolutely yes. Your father in law is in a place where your 2-year-old is seeing them. But there's a couple things I want to say. I was seeing a hawk, a hawk, a hawk. So look for like a hawk or an eagle type energy. Up in the sky flying around. But that energy with him is that it's really about him. Like, I'm still watching you. I'm still guiding you. I'm still protecting you. With your mother-in-law, again, he's showing me electrical signs in the house. So flickering lights, you're going to get there and she's going to say, I just changed this light bulb a week ago and it burned out. Or it's going to burn out right there while you both are watching it. But this is really him being like, I'm right here, still loving you.
Thanks, Michelle. And then Judy sent an email in this week. It said, Michelle, I have a follow-up scan scheduled on Tuesday and was just wondering if it's anything I need to worry about.
Yeah. So I'm feeling that it's not. That's what I want to tell you. They're just kind of showing me that they're giving me more the words routine or standard. So I'm not feeling that it's anything that you need to be concerned about.
And then our next question. I miscarried a baby I named Grayson 10 years ago. I think the baby as a boy, but I was only about 6 weeks along. So I don't know what the baby's gender was. Does he have a message for me?
Yeah. So here's the thing with that intuition that you already had, you already were knowing that he has this male energy. So I want to acknowledge that for you. Like, trust yourself on that. That feels absolutely right to me. Well, his message for you is this. He wasn't ready to have a full 80 years on planet Earth, right? And so there's this part of him saying, like, you need to realize that you gave him the perfect place and space to touch life on planet Earth for 6 weeks. And so there's a lot of gratitude there. You're definitely going to have a reconnection, not just in that heavenly realm, but I feel like there are more lifetimes that are going to come up. His energy, very, very sensitive. So I think let's talk about that for just a minute. Planet Earth, one of the hardest places you can be right now in the universe, right? And a lot of times souls will come in and they feel the difference of energy just from the heavenly realm into coming in utero. And for some souls, it is almost shocking and jarring and more than they're ready to take on. And so sometimes that is what creates the energy of a miscarriage. For anyone who's familiar with my friend Christian Sundberg, he talks about, he remembers his pre-life plan, and he actually remembers creating a miscarriage in one of them because he came in, he felt the difference in the energy of planet Earth versus the heavenly realm, and he was like, I can't do this, I'm out. So just really knowing that that's part of it. And I feel like this little Grayson is super sensitive.
Thanks, Michelle. Next question. I've got a series of upcoming exams and recently took one. How did it turn out? Also, I want to get into either college A or B. Am I going to get into any of them? If so, which one? Any advice for my guides?
Yeah.
Questions.
I like that. Okay, so it feels like the exams go well, or the exam has already gone well, and I'm getting college B. So whichever one you labeled as college B, I'm getting shown 2 thumbs up on that from your guides. This is a little bit they're saying about believing in yourself and the hard work that you've already put in. You have a very bright future, so they're very they're almost like applauding you is what I'm feeling right now. Like, nice work, good job. I would be excited about where you're going and less stress. The rest of your exams feel like they go well too.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. We lost our fat and sassy cat, Jareth, over the summer. Are there any signs of him hanging around or any messages he has for us?
Yeah, so it's so funny because as soon as you said that, I just saw feathers. So I've got to say, look for feathers, look for birds. I feel like this is something that was really entertaining for him to watch, most likely. So that's coming in. The other thing with him is he gives me the energy of like fur balls. So I think you're still going to find little fur balls or pieces of fur when you least expect it. So you'll be watching TV and one like blows across the room or something. He's giving me this really playful energy. So yeah, you're going to find him in the fur balls, in the birds, and in the feathers.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Hi, Michelle. Will there be a better way for adults and caregivers to successfully communicate with nonverbal or highly autistic children or other adults?
Yeah, the answer is yes, and it's already here. So this is what we're going to call telepathic communication, right? And this is a great question. I want us to think about it. We do this all the time with our animals, with our children. We look at the dog and we think, I just don't think the dog feels good today, right? Or you look at your child and you're like, they don't look great. And then 20 minutes later, they're vomiting, We're doing telepathic communication all the time. What the difference is that people need to be trained in how to do this because so often we have kind of been taught not to, but it's really the reading of energy. So the way that I communicate with guides, angels, and loved ones, it's telepathic. And what I would say about it is it's a knowing. So start to trust your knowing with the people in your life that might be nonverbal, because what they're showing you, right? It's just soul to soul communication. It's the same as mediumship. When I'm doing mediumship, I'm communicating with a soul who's no longer in a body. And when I'm communicating with someone with autism or stroke or whoever's nonverbal, it's still in a body, soul to soul communication. It's our first natural line of communication. This is how communication works in heaven. This is what your soul is used to. And so it is a gift that we all still have, but it is practicing. So what I would say is if you have someone close to you in your life, and if not someone who you're close with, then an animal, start practicing sending them messages and receiving back what they say. So I used to have this dog named Daphne, and I could literally send her an image of her getting up and walking to the door. In my mind, I just visualized it, and she would do it. Right? It was crazy. No words, nothing. And just different things like that. Or of her laying down and all of a sudden she'd be in the middle of a walk and just lay down. So start practicing this with people that are close to you and your pets, because telepathic communication is very natural.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, our next question. This is a good one. Were the ancient non-Christian gods, such as the Egyptian, Norse, and Greek Roman, actually ETs? Have they since left the planet, or do these entities still hear and respond to prayers?
I
Interesting
love that.
question.
That is a big question. And what I will tell you, I'm being told by the guides is, yeah, they're ET connections, right? So think about it as they probably came and built the pyramids. They came and did things that the humans on planet Earth at that time couldn't see a way to do. And so what was happening is we were giving them this God identity, right? Because they were magical compared to the tools that humans had. And the answer would be yes. We have so much help in this universe. There are some energies that are just energies. Like think about Archangel Michael. Think about Sekhmet. When I talk about like my healing that I had in Egypt and all of these things, that energy exists. It's going to present itself differently on what we expect it to look like. But so the answer is yes. Our prayers are being answered and heard, and we have help. From God, Source, the Divine, angels, life guides, Archangel Michael, and ETs.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Hi, Michelle. Over the past few months, I've seen two bright lights in the sky while driving. One was like falling sparks, and one like a white arrow shooting down from the sky. Could these have been ETs? Got a lot of extraterrestrial stuff going on today, don't we?
Yeah, we do. That's good. That's welcome to 2026. There's going to be more and more and more of that. Here's what I will say to you. Yes, is what I feel like with that, because they're letting us know that they are here more. There are a lot of people that still don't want to even think there's a possibility that life exists anywhere else, but they are here. They've been here for a while. They're not here to disrupt our lives. They're here to help us. And so my answer to that would be yes. If it totally followed a different pattern than a shooting star or something along those lines, you know what it is.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Christianity often labels witchcraft and voodoo as evil, but many practitioners seem kind and helpful. Is exploring these paths any riskier than other religion if approached with an open heart?
Yeah, that's a great question. And here's what I will tell you. I know nothing about voodoo. I've never actually looked into that. So I can't speak to that specifically. But here's what I will say about witchcraft. Lots of women died for witchcraft. And nowadays we would call them herbalists. We would call them naturopaths. We would call them, these are intuitives. We would call them psychic mediums, right? And so when we're talking about witchcrafts, it's always about what is the energy? Is somebody using this energy in a negative way, or are they using it to help people and actually make this world a better place? Because I know nothing about voodoo, if you can use it to make the world a better place, then the energy behind it aligns, right? And Christianity very often condemned other things, but it was because they wanted more power to bring in. Here's the thing. God, Source, the Divine is not a religion. God, Source, the Divine is not Catholic, Baptist, Buddhist, a witch, whatever. It's everything, right? And so each human gets to choose which expression they would like of the divine. So it's more about energy alignment, because anything can be good or bad. Like, let's take a knife. I can use it to cut my steak, or I could stab someone with it, right? It's a tool. How do I want to use this knife? And so all religions are, and different ways of practicing are tools, but how are you going to use them?
Thanks, Michelle. Good question. Our next question. My work was impacted on November 20th, and I'm trying to decide my next steps. Any guidance?
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell you I'm feeling for you with that. I do feel like your job's secure, so I want to start with that. But I'm really feeling like the universe is saying to you, it's secure, but is this what you want, right? There's a restlessness in your energy and an anxiousness. Both of those I can feel, because I feel like I'm like jittery almost. I think you're ready for a new job. And I know that that comes with its own restlessness and anxiousness, but this is the time for you in these next 4 weeks, I'm being told, to really think about what you want to do, how you want to feel, what job would bring peace, prosperity to your life. Remember, we're not meant to live in scarcity. The universe has more than enough for everyone. So we have to really focus on the abundance that's available to us and empower ourselves to create the life that we want to live.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. I made the decision to retire next month at the age of 63. Did I make the right decision, or will I have financial challenges?
It feels like the right decision. Don't second guess yourself on this, because what's going to happen is you're going to waste your time and your energy when you're supposed to be out having fun and enjoying life, or sleeping in, or planting your garden, whatever it is that you choose to do. So think about alignment. This is a really big thing that keeps coming in today, right? Alignment is, I have made a decision and now I'm going to step all into that. So I've chosen to retire. I'm going to be cautious with my funds so that they, do everything I need them to do, but I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to allow myself to plant my garden and to really be here instead of second guessing everything. This is an interesting thing for you, because your guides are saying it's kind of this pivotal moment. You've spent a lot of time second guessing yourself throughout this lifetime, and this is your opportunity to actually stand in the decision, be present, and enjoy life. So make the most of it.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Just joined a new company called Growth School today. How do you see my experience being with this company?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be productive. They're giving me the word flat. So there's going to be a little energy around it where maybe it is not, creating everything that you want in your life. Maybe you feel like your skills are underused or something like that. But as far as productive, financially, stability, I feel like you're going to be in a good place with all of that. So it feels good. Just know that this is not going to be the company you retire from.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. All of my in-laws have passed on, including my wife. Is this coincidence or something else?
Well, this is called soul plan. So what happens with our soul plans, it is something else. It's not random, right? Let's talk about the soul plan for a minute. When we choose to come to planet Earth, we create in our soul plan multiple exit points. So what that means is there are these moments that are divinely guided by God, source, the divine, on when it's okay for us to leave our body and go back home. And a lot of times we're going to say, no, that's not okay. That person was too young, or whatever our story is. And that's the human side of the story. But on the soul side of this story, when you go home, it's the right time, because that was a decision between your soul and God. So what I'm feeling with this, there's something that your soul is wanting to learn, not just about, I'm getting the word sovereignty. So it's not just about how you still love and honor your loved ones in spirit, but it's about the sovereignty in your life right now. And so one of the challenges that it feels like that your soul has chosen is this, like, when everyone's gone, can I create a life for myself? And with that being said, gone, meaning out of their bodies, but not literally gone from your life, because the connection, the love, and the communication continues on. This is the opportunity that your soul was asking for. And how do I create a life for myself?
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. Is there a great idea on how to let go of the past, being at peace, and not carrying the pain forward?
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of goes with like the angel message of the day. So you get to assign the weight to it, and you are responsible for your healing, right? So it doesn't mean that there haven't been really painful things that have happened in everyone's life, but we get to decide how we want to choose to heal around that. Do we need PTSD treatment? Do we need counseling? Do we need, on and on and on. There are so many resources available to people nowadays. And because of that, forgiveness, as spirit would call it, right, is not necessarily the way we would think about it in the Bible. So forgiveness isn't saying, I love you, it's okay that you abused me, or anything like that. Forgiveness is saying the situation is not okay, but I choose not to carry the weight any longer, because that's the part that sets you free. Emotionally, mentally, energetically, where now you have room in your energy to heal and step forward into your life. So think about forgiveness as just being able to say, I'm choosing not to carry this anymore. The other thing that I want to bring up right now, my acronym C, right? Everyone is a soul having a human experience. Everyone is seeing life through their own lens, and everyone is doing their best. So even if you had the alcohol of abusive parent, what I want to tell you is they are still having a human experience. They were seeing life through their own lens. So maybe that was the experience they had growing up. And even though it didn't feel good and it wasn't necessarily what you had hoped it would be, they were doing their best at the time. And I see this so often. I want to take this one more step. I want to talk about this with depression and suicide, right? So often when I am doing readings for people, I have to tell you, when their loved ones come in spirit, they were doing their best. And in those moments when they chose to leave this world, they weren't doing it to hurt you. They were not thinking about how you were going to feel. They were literally doing their best to manage life, right? And so that's kind of the energy about allowing yourself to move forward without carrying it and really start to facilitate your own healing or get the resources and tools that you're looking for.
Thanks, Michelle. Next question. I dreamed of my dad in the hospital. He was sick, became alert for a moment. I hugged him, then I think he passed. My dad passed in February of 2025 while in the hospital, was not alert. Any message from my dad, son, or guide?
Yeah. So the energy from your dad, he's giving me like, just, I have to tell you, active are the words that he's giving me. So his energy buzzing around the universe, wanting you to know that he is. He says, I'm having the time of my life and I want you to too. So he's acknowledging the challenges that you're going through, but all of our loved ones in spirit, they are cheering us on. There is not one loved one in spirit who has ever come through in the thousands of readings that I've done and said, I want my person to sit there and be sad and close the doors and never leave home again, right? That's not what they want for us. So he's really encouraging you to keep going. He gives you a high five. So I want to say that. And he's tickling my nose. So you're either going to smell him or you're going to have like this energy of like your nose is itching, but this is dad. Like, I'm right here. I'm right in front of you.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question, it says, I have the highest hopes for 2026. Will I have a new lover? Please ask.
Yeah. You know what? So here's the thing about 2026. It is a lot of people in 2025 realized their relationship, no matter how long they had been in it, wasn't going to be what they wanted to be in for the next 10 years or the rest of their life. So 2026 has this energy of new vitality, bringing in new partners, bringing in new friends, all of that. So my answer is yes on the new partner for you.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question. I've been missing my sibling in spirit very much. Is there any sign they're sending me that I'm missing? I'd like them to send me a unique sign so that I know it's them.
Yeah. So here's, I'm hearing yes, because I feel like they're sending you 10 signs a day and you're already getting them. Quit looking for your sibling's absence. Your sibling is so strong and so connected to you. So yes, you're looking for the signs, but I want you to look again for the telepathic communication that is right there between siblings. It's so natural for kids. Think about when kids are little. They're not necessarily verbally communicating, but they're absolutely communicating. And so this telepathic communication is the way your sibling is wanting to connect with you now. The physical signs are great. However, we are all being asked to step up into the next level of who we are as humans and the abilities that we have. And so that's where your sibling's wanting you to go.
Thanks, Michelle. Our next question, if someone has cancer, does that mean they chose that as their life plan?
Yeah, that is a great question. And there's a couple of things about that. So yeah, some people would choose that challenge in a life plan. And that would be one answer. The other answer is this. Cancer is an energy, right? And so what happens is, I've talked about this before. When we have resentment, when we have something that we're carrying in our energy field that we choose to ignore, to not deal with, or that we just carry within us, always angry. We all know the person who's always angry. Like, even if they smile, you know, it's just right under the surface, right? These people are carrying an energy, and that energy is going to affect some part of their body at some time. So I want you to think of it as carrying, you know, a 50-pound backpack on one shoulder for 20 years. Literally, by the time we take the backpack off, we're going to have some issues here. That's what happens with the energy around cancer. I would also say, on a soul level, think of it like this. We have, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands or millions of people looking for the cure for cancer in this world, because their soul plan included, I want to come in and find a cure for it. So because they want to find a cure for it, we have other souls that have said, I am going to come in, I am going to have cancer, I'm going to take the option that's still an alternative option to show that this will help. So there's a couple of things going on the soul level, but on the human level, what I want to tell you is that healing is always possible. And that's about really getting in alignment, body, mind, and spirit, and allowing ourselves to heal the energy that is creating the physical manifestation of cancer.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, we are all out of time today, but thank you so much for joining and sending in your questions, and we appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thank you all. I wish you a wonderful month of December, and I look forward to connecting with you all next week. Have a beautiful day. Thanks so much, Heather and Aiden.